Hi, how are you today? It's Monday. Can you believe that it has started all over again? It's a crazy, crazy day. Is it time to update your website's About page? We're going to talk about this today. We had part 1 last week. We're doing part 2 this week. 10 simple steps to write your best About page ever. Hi, I'm Patricia Durgan, the Christian Message Coach, and this is Marketers on a Mission, the live show for every Christian who has a message to market. There are a lot of moving pieces to online marketing, and we help you master them all, one by one. So, how long has it been since you've updated your About page? I mentioned last week that I'll be updating mine by the end of this summer. I want you to envision your About page in 3 sections. Now, they're not equal sections. We're just going to review for 2 or 3 minutes what we talked about in the first session. That is episode 38, if you are interested. The first section talks exclusively about the people who are reading our About page, our ideal target market. And who are those people? Those are the people that we are uniquely gifted to serve as God's representatives. And we are serving them with the exact message that He wants us to share with that God-given target market. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the very first 2/3, the entire 2/3 of your About page should be about them. Hello, Katie Andrusky. How are you? So nice for you to join me. The first 2/3 of your About page should be about the readers, who they are, the questions that they have, problems that they're dealing with. We did the first 5 questions last week in episode 38, and today we're going to do the last 5 questions that make up the 10 simple steps. The middle section is where you tie your story to their issue. It's not a biography. It's not your educational or professional background. It is, again, about them tying your story into what their issue is. We're going to dig a little bit deeper in that today. And then the closing section of your About page is some kind of a call to action. What is it that you want them to do? Do you want them to pick up the phone? Do you want them to sign up for a newsletter? Do you want them to buy your book? There's something we want them to do before they finish our page. Now, why don't we put that way up at the top? We want to earn the right to ask them to take that action. And we do that with these first 2/3 of the page, where we're explaining to them how well we know them. We're not saying those words, I know you. We're saying, I know that you're stuck. These are the questions that you've been asking. These are the obstacles that you've been facing. And with specificity and examples, as many as possible. These are the avenues that you have tried to get unstuck. And you know them, because Christ has sent that group of people into your life for years and years and years. These are the people who you find that everywhere you turn, at work, at home, in the community, out of town, out of state, out of country, you turn around and there is that type of person, the same type of person that you run into, and they have the same type of problem. They ask the same type of questions consistently throughout your life. This is your God-given audience. Now, do I have anything else to say about that? Yes, but that's for another session. So, question number 6. Remember the first 5 on episode 38. So we're picking up on question number 6 through 10. What makes you the perfect person to help them? Explain to them how you're exactly the person that they've been looking for. How do you do that? Do you have a similar background to them? Did you face the same trauma and overcome it with God's help that they have? What about the same challenges? Have you felt the same pain, frustrations? What caused that? Tell me. Tell them. I'm pretending to be your ideal target market, landing upon your About page. Question number 7. How does what you've been through help me as your ideal target market? Whatever our commonalities, you're further along than I am, and you must be, or you wouldn't be able to help me, right? We can commiserate together for rowing. We're in the same boat, rowing towards shore. But if you are to help me through your writing, speaking, training, through your products, services, or online courses, then you need to be some steps ahead of me. Not light years, but some steps ahead of me in order to be able to, for you to say, this is what happened to me. This is how Christ helped me. Let me show you how that can apply to your life in your situation. Tell me how your background uniquely prepares you to help me find the answers to my questions, overcome the challenges that I face, get rid of the fear that I feel, fill in the blank with the exact problem that your ideal target market presents to you. All those people throughout your life who have, you have turned around and there they are. Might be men, might be women, might be, no matter what they look like on the outside, they all have some commonality. It's the pain they felt or the challenge they're trying to meet, the goal they're trying to attain. And they have questions and they have fears and they have thoughts and they need help. And you're the one gifted to offer that. Question number 8. Was there a moment when you were struggling that you knew it was time for a change? Well, in other words, what was the pivot point for you? If you can explain that to me and help me understand enough about your story to help me understand if that was the pivot point for you, and you've already convinced me through the other words and ideas and concepts and connections you've made to me in the previous parts of the page, I'm really more interested in what you have to say. Whatever your pivot point might be mine as well. Communicate to me. And remember, we talked about this in the first session in episode number 38. Only speak to one person. Our About page is not read by a group of people or a board of directors. It's read by one hurting person or one confused person or one really focused person moving toward a goal at a time. Speak to that person individually. Name specifics. If you can, identify the questions that you had, the story around the pivot point, share with me. Now I'm ready to hear what you have to say about yourself, because technically, if I'm your pretend ideal target market member and I'm on your About page, technically with all the other information you've already shared, you've given me enough information to know you might be the one that could help me. I want to know a little bit more. But I don't want to know where you went to school, even though that may be very important. It's not important to me. What's important to me is your pretend ideal target market, but you will have actual, real ideal target market members land on your website, whether you write fiction or nonfiction, whether you're a speaker or a comedian, Christian comedian, whatever it is that your giftedness is and your current method of delivery is, you will have people land on your About page who want to know, how can you solve my problem? So unless that's directly related to where you went to school, don't tell me that part now. Put that information on another page, but not on the About page. When you experience the common pain, challenge, or motivation that we both share, something spurred you to action. What was that? What was that? You put up with it, you put up with it, you put up with it, and one day you didn't put up with it anymore. That's your pivot point. What caused that? And then how did you maneuver beyond that? This is what I want to know. This is giving me hope. Here's someone who may be able to help me. Yes, he or she has experienced what I've experienced, answered the questions that I'm asking, felt the fear that I'm feeling. And they're going to stick around. We can't help them if they don't stick around. And they stick around because we speak to them directly, not vaguely, not with analogies. We speak to them and we let them know, I've been where you are. God delivered. He can deliver you too. This is what every human being wants to know. There's nothing special about it on that vein. Everyone wants to know that, no matter what our background is, what our spirituality is, whatever. I've got a problem. I need help solving it. Are you the one that's going to help me? And you may help me through your fiction or your nonfiction. You may help me through your humor. But I want to know. So speak to me and tell me. Katie, if you have any questions or comments, do feel free to type them in the comment box. Question number 9. How will I feel, again, if I'm your ideal target market, how will I feel when I've overcome the problem that you're going to help me overcome? When I've got the answer because you've given it to me, to this question that's been hounding me. When I was stuck, and one day I fell upon you and your work from yesterday or today or tomorrow. And your work helped me get unstuck. How am I going to feel? Paint that picture for me with real words. You've identified my problem. You've shown me how you understand how I feel and why I feel this way. So you're just doing, rocking it out. Now tell me, how will I feel? How will my life improve after I've read your message, embraced your message, applied it? Last, question number 10. Now you're not writing these out. Okay, these are not points. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not how we're writing our about page. We're professional communicators, so we know how to weave a story, don't we? So I'm giving you 10 steps. You would not use them in such a way. You would read the story after you've collected the information that your answers to the 10 questions. Then you would take that content and weave a story with it. Identify the person, people, or group with whom you best work. All right? That sounds so easy on the surface, doesn't it? Believe me when I tell you from the bottom of my heart, it is not everybody. It is not everybody. Do you work best with women only, or mostly with women? What about families? Business owners? Hi, Robin Robertson. Thanks so much for joining us. We were talking about how to write the best about page ever. We've gone through 5 questions to help you cull the answers from your own spirit and your work and your body of knowledge to create half of the about page. That was episode number 38. This is episode number 41. We're finishing this up. We're on question number 10. You'll be glad to catch up on the replay. Do you mostly work with ministry leaders, preteens? What's the common factor between you and these people that you consistently run into as Christ brings them into your life or brings you into their life? And again, this can be wherever you live, the ballpark, church, work, the airport while you're waiting for your flight to arrive. There are people that the Holy Spirit draws to you because they have a need, and He knows that you have the answer because He taught it to you when you were struggling with a very same issue or question or problem or challenge. And He wants you to be prepared to tell them, share with them, give them information, give them hope, point them to Him, directly or indirectly. We can minister to people even if we never mention God's name. Ideally, we would. But not every conversation is going to be, if you died tonight, would you go to heaven or hell? Pull out the pamphlet, the 4 spiritual laws. And while I'm not disrespecting that process at all, you have to realize that Christ just meets people where they are. Are they birthing babies? That's where He goes. Are they in the mud pit in Taiwan? That's where He goes. Are they in the college classroom? That's where He goes. We can do the same. So tell me on your about page, as we're closing out that area, that section, tell me what it is about you that would let me understand I would fit really, really well in your ideal target market. What is the common factor? Is it my age? Is it my ethnicity? It could be my problem or my challenge. It could be that easy. Whatever it is, identify who you're a good fit for because those are the people looking for you. Help them find you. Robin, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to type them into the comment box. Now, one last ingredient. We talked about the first 2/3 of the page is exclusively about me and the questions that I have and you identifying and helping me understand. You really know me because you're very specific about my fears and questions and challenges. And the second section is where you tie in your story with my need. You don't do it falsely. You do it by explaining that you've had the very same trauma or you've overcome that very same challenge with Christ's help. And now you're on top of that, or you have mastered that, or you're beyond the stage where I am and I need your help. So connect with me in that way. And then lastly, the third section, and these sections are not equal size. 2/3, then a little bit more about you. 2/3 about me, rather. A little bit more about you. And then you're going to ask me, as your pretend ideal target market manager, you're going to ask me to take an action. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to book an appointment? Do you want me to buy your book? Sign up for your newsletter if you have one? Be specific, very clear, 2 or 3 lines. Here's a headline, a box with a call to action in it. Here's the action you want me to take with a fill-in form. And here are the results you're going to give me what am I going to get after I fill in that form from you? This is growing your email list, and it is a critically important aspect of marketing online. Social media is good in its place, but it will never replace an email list. An email list, and we've talked about that already a little bit. We have more to say on that. I'm not going to get carried away because I'm just dying to. We need to be able to give our readers, especially people who are new visitors to our website and don't yet know us, we need to offer them something that's of value to them so that they will give us their name and email address, so that we can stay in touch with them periodically, so that when we have a new book to launch, we have a new product or a service, they've already given us permission to contact them. We've created somewhat of a relationship in these various emails that we have sent back and forth through the weeks or the months. Now we have permission to say, hey, I've loved having you with me. By the way, my next book is launching next week, next month, next year, whatever it is you have to say. You have a captive audience that is not, they may or may not be on Facebook and the other social media outlets, but that's not the same as being able to have their personal email and you one-on-one having that conversation with them. So that call to action is to give me something of value, me as your ideal target market, that I'm interested in, so that I'll give you my email address. All right, so this has been part 2 of the 10 simple steps to write your best about page ever. Step 1, part 1, is episode number 38. I'm going to put that direct link above the video when I finish with this episode today, so you don't have to hunt for it or dig for it. Also, tomorrow, that's supposed to be a drum roll, but I didn't do a very good job. Tomorrow, I'll be hosting another faculty member at the upcoming Colorado Christian Writers Conference. We've been talking about the conference and interviewing conference faculties. We've got 2 more. Tomorrow, Louise Looney is going to be my guest, my very special guest. We'll be live tomorrow, this same time, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know, there's still time to sign up for the conference. It's in Estes Park. It starts Wednesday. It runs the 16th through the 19th. That's this week. You can go as late as possible, sign up as late as possible. You can even walk in. It is in Colorado. You will love it. You can find out more about that at the writehisanswer.com, and I'll also put that link in the same above the, for resources mentioned like I always do. Now, about Louise, just a moment. I'll give you a little tidbit about Louise. Last year, she thought she was invited to the conference as a keynote speaker, and she was indeed invited for that reason. She didn't know was there was a surprise waiting for her as she heard her name announced as Writer of the Year. So it's pretty cool. She's a pretty cool lady. She's written 5 books, I believe, now. You are going to love her. Lots of energy, lots of humor. deep insights. She's going to tell us everything that she's got time for tomorrow. And she'll be also telling us, sharing with us what she's presenting at the conference that begins next week. Not next Wednesday, this Wednesday. So I'll see you right back here tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the meantime, I'm Patricia Dirk, the Christian Message Coach, and I hope this show helps you become a marketer on a mission for Christ. Thanks for being here.